Hey everybody. So it's time now for me to make my Stanley Cup pick before the series starts on Monday. We have the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup Final. Who would have guessed that before the season started? Who would have guessed that even at the beginning of the playoffs? That's very surprising matchup, very unlikely matchup. But after you know almost 2 months now of playoff hockey, this is what we have. So on one hand, you have the Washington Capitals, who have finally ditched their choking moniker and have made it to the final for the first time with this group of players, first time in the Ovechkin era. Um, they're getting great goaltending from Braden Holtby. Their best players are playing like their best players. Ovechkin has been on fire and playing in a way that I have never seen him play before. Um, John Carlson's been fantastic on the back end. Nick Backstrom and Evgeny Kuznetsov are really, really strong down the middle. They are playing the best playoff hockey I have ever seen the Capitals play in my lifetime. On the other hand, you have the Vegas Golden Knights, who are just having an unbelievable dream season in their first year in the NHL. Nobody expected them to even be any good, never mind make the playoffs. Now they find themselves in the Stanley Cup Final after honestly pretty easily marching their way through the playoffs so far. Um, they swept the Kings to start. They knocked out San Jose in six, and then they just really took it to Winnipeg in 5 games. So Vegas, just the dream continues for them. Nobody expected this, and they're just riding this wave as long as they possibly can, and they might just ride it to a championship. Marc-Andre Fleury is playing out of his mind in goal. They're playing strong team defense. They're getting good offensive production from guys up front that they need to score. Guys like William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, David Perron, Riley Smith. Those guys are producing for them, and they have really marched their way through the Western Conference in these playoffs. This is going to be a very tough series for both teams, a very long series, I think. Both teams are extremely good and playing extremely well at right now at this moment. Vegas is sat for a little bit. They took care of Winnipeg in 5 games, so they've been resting for a bit. Washington just finished a long 7-game series with Tampa Bay. However, they both teams are getting a decent rest before the final actually starts on Monday. So I don't fatigue is going to be a factor at this point in the season, but I don't know how big of a factor, and it shouldn't really affect one team more than the other. Both, if anything, Vegas might be a little rusty because of how long that they've sat. Washington's only going to end up sitting for I think 3 or 4 days, while Vegas is going to be a week or more. I don't remember exactly when that series ended, but it was early this week. So, or maybe even over the weekend. So, that shouldn't be an issue for either team. Although everybody's tired at this point. You've been playing. You played an 82-game regular season. Now you've played 15 to 20 playoff games, depending on how quickly you got through your competition. It's been a long year, and the playoffs are much more physical, much more demanding, much more high energy kind of hockey than in the regular season, and it's difficult to play that way for 2 months straight. So both teams are going to be beat up, both teams are going to be tired, but they're both in the same boat. I also think it's going to be a very low-scoring series just because of the goaltending matchup. Braden Holtby has been on fire for Washington. He shut out Tampa Bay in Game 6 and 7. He's been lights out really since he came back and got the net back from Philip Grubauer in the Columbus series. He's been really, really good ever since then. And on the other side, Marc-Andre Fleury has had an unreal season for Vegas, and he's had an even better playoffs. His save percentage and goals against average are insanely good. He is giving almost nothing up. It's going to be really, really difficult to score on him. It's going to be interesting to see if Washington can get enough pucks by Fleury to win this series. So, who do I think is going to win? We have two extremely hot and very good goaltenders. We have two extremely strong teams. I think that Vegas wins it. I doubted Vegas at the start of the season. I doubted Vegas all season long. I doubted Vegas at the start of the playoffs. I am done doubting Vegas. Whatever is going on there, it's magical. And I don't see any reason that it's going to end now. They've had an unbelievable playoffs. They've had an unbelievable year. An expansion team was never supposed to be this good. They've proved everybody wrong. They have a fantastic team. I'm picking Vegas in 6 games over the Washington Capitals to win the Stanley Cup and be the first ever expansion team to win a Stanley Cup in their first season. And without a doubt, Vegas is already the greatest expansion team in professional sports history. And if they win the cup, that would only, raise the bar that much higher for the next one. So I have Vegas in 6. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm sure it's going to be pretty split between Vegas and Washington, who people think are going to win. It's going to be a very, very tight series, I think. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links in the description below. Keep spreading the word about this channel. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys soon.